Juicy oven jerk chicken is what's on the menu today. Smoky grilled chicken is great, but let's be honest, it's way more work and very time consuming. So in this video I'm going to show you how to get tender delicious jerk easily done in the oven, how to make a great jerk marinade as well as a quick and easy jerk sauce for the oven jerk. Let's get into it. For this recipe I'm going to use a whole chicken. Typically when you buy a whole chicken you get giblets inside. I think I'm going to cook these. I'm going to cut this chicken in half, but you could portion it into quarters or pieces or even butterfly it. I like to clean out the organs in the back of the chicken. I like to keep the fatty skin on. Fat is flavor and it keeps the bird moist and tender. This is kinda disappointing. That's like half of a neck. I really like jerk chicken neck. Usually this membrane on the gizzard is removed, but it look like them forget this one. Wouldn't want to eat that. I'm going to rinse this with a vinegar solution. The biggest issue with oven jerk is the lack of that smoky flavor, but it's probably the only downside because making jerk chicken on the grill takes a lot of time and attention. I drained these as best as I could. I like to use a metal skewer to pierce the chicken. This is just so the marinade and the seasons can really penetrate deep into the meat for great flavor in every bite. Next I'm going to season with salt. I'm just eyeballing it and seasoning both sides. I'm also seasoning with black pepper. Get both sides of each piece of chicken. Almost forgot about the giblets. I want them seasoned as well. These are Maggi chicken bouillon cubes. Usually with jerk chicken, some powdered seasoning is typically used like Maggi all-purpose. I really like Cajun seasoning and I have used it in the past. I have been using this quite a bit recently and it's delicious. This is usually used for soups and maybe sauces, but they also add a ton of flavor to meat. I'm just going to crush the cubes and use it to season both sides of the chicken. This is optional and you can always use your favorite powdered seasoning instead. Let's just set that aside for now. Time for the jerk marinade. This is really easy to make and very versatile. Jerk seasoning has some really big flavors. I have about 2 inches of peeled ginger. At least 3 tablespoons of dried pimento. All of the pimento trees usually used in a traditional jerk. The leaves are used in the recipes and the wood, especially the green wood, is used in the fires that is used to cook the jerk. The green wood makes a lot of smoke and burns really well despite being green. Pimento wood gives a very delicious, distinct flavor to the jerk, but today we are just going to use dried pimento, which comes really close. I also need 3 small onions. Not typical in jerk, but this adds a ton of flavor. A bit of celery. This is 2 heads of garlic. This is one ingredient that's a bit hard to overdo in jerk. I have a big handful of fresh thyme. Fresh thyme has the best flavor. I also need some scotchy. Scotch bonnet has a very distinct flavor, so even though other hot peppers will work, this should be your first choice. Time for the liquids. I'm going to add a big splash of orange juice. This adds some nice citrus notes and help to make the jerk chicken tender and juicy. I want half cup of soya sauce. This adds flavor, darkens the color and adds a bit of salt. A big pinch of black pepper and a big pinch of salt. Next I'm roughly blending this. That's good. Next, I'm just going to pour over enough marinade to coat the chicken evenly. I need a bit of brown sugar on the chicken to help with browning and to give this a more rounded flavor profile. You could also add it to the marinade. I also need a bit of nutmeg. This I forgot. I have made a couple jerk recipes on this channel, and in each of them there are small variations in each of the jerk marinade depending on what I'm using it for. Recipes 8 out of 10 times are just a guide. The other 2 times you're making pastries. This will also help to tenderize the chicken and add a ton of flavor and give your jerk that little extra something. Lager beers in general are good. Most will work, but the red stripe beer is what's traditionally used, and for good reason. It's really good. You could let this marinate for at least 45 minutes to an hour, but letting this sit overnight will give the best results, so that is what I'm going to do. I have extra marinade. This is super versatile. Put this in your rice and peas, brown stew chicken, or grilled meat or seafood. Lots of big flavors. Freeze this if you're keeping it for more than a few days. This has been sitting overnight and it's properly marinated. You can see that the marinade has stained the chicken. You don't really get this after only an hour. I need another sheet pan. I'm just going to transfer over the chicken and the giblets to the new pan. This is all set now. I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes or until it reaches an internal temperature of 170 degrees. This will need some sauce, so while that's cooking, let's make a quick, easy and delicious jerk sauce. Like the marinade, this is also very versatile. In a saucepan, add a big splash of oil. I'm adding 2 tablespoons brown sugar. I'm going to let this caramelize. This adds a lot of depth of flavor to the sauce, making it taste richer and fuller. This is ready when it starts to get frothy. Add the marinade from the chicken. Yeah, that smells really nice. The jerk marinade had a bit of extra liquid, so I'm just going to cook it off first. This will further deepen the flavor. Next, I'm adding some more beer. That beer flavor in the sauce is something else. Orange juice. This adds some nice citrus notes and balances out the acidity of the ketchup, which I need a cup of. Ketchup also helps to add some body to the sauce. And finally, 1/4 cup soy sauce. This will reduce and get concentrated, but I'm tasting to see how I'm doing so far. That's good, but I want more spice, so I'm going to add 1 green scotchy. This will add a bit of extra heat and some fresh scotchy flavor. I'm going to let that simmer for now. The color is kinda light, but the chicken smells ready and looks ready. I'm going to check the temperature real quick. That's past the minimum temperature, but that's okay. It should still be very juicy. I just really dislike how white this is. I might have a fix for the color. The sauce is not really ready yet, but I'm just going to grab about 1/4 cup. I'm going to dissolve a couple tablespoons of brown sugar in the sauce. And then baste the chicken. I'm hoping the extra sugar in the sauce caramelizes and improves the color, as well as add a bit of extra flavor to the chicken. I'm going to use the broiler on the high setting my oven can go, so I can brown this really quick without overcooking the chicken. I'm going to give this about 2 minutes. That's enough time to strain the sauce because it's finally ready now. It's reduced quite a bit and gotten a bit thicker. Very nice. That's one very delicious sauce. I'm going to put this on everything for the next couple days. Perfect. Now that is jerk chicken. That color is a lot better. Chicken gizzards don't get enough love. These are really flavorful. Yup, that is it. It's not really the best presentation, but jerk chicken is really good when you hack it up into pieces. Like using a cleaver and really chopping it up, not like I have here. It adds something to the eating experience. I wish I went with that, but it never crossed my mind till finishing up the script. I'm adding a bit of pretty. Of course, I have to have fresh thyme and also that delicious jerk sauce. Nice. Rice and peas is great. Fried festival is probably better, but today I'm doing this street food style with 2 slices of bread. That's very juicy and fall off the bone tender. I'm going to try this with the sauce. Wow, that's really good. It doesn't have the smoky taste you get when you use a grill, but this is so delicious you won't need it. Aside from marinating overnight, this also doesn't take a lot of active time. This is really good. The Scotch bonnet flavor comes out a lot with just the right amount of heat. The beer makes the flavor profile of the chicken and the sauce so dynamic. It even tastes great with just the bread. This is usually how you have jerk chicken. You cook it with red stripe beer, then you use a very cold red stripe beer to wash it all down. Shout out to my patrons on Patreon. This was very delicious. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like or consider subscribing. If not, drop a comment. Either way, check out this tasty video that YouTube thinks you will like. Catch you in the next one.